Yep. Maybe we'll get to see more of it here.
Certainly the case. I'm interested in what the bans will be, though. Will, for example, we see it at Maestro or Echo ban? Will we see, sometimes we see a Ying ban on here? We got the Lion one out of the way already, so it's a question of what strength want to ban. We'll see what they go with. And class. All right.
Okay. So here, your two big picks are either the Blackbeard or if you go for the glass. Both operators would help you quite a bit. I think because the glass is banned, if nobody plays Blackbeard, it's kind of a wasted bit of potential.
It depends on if you have a good Blackbeard player. I mean, yes, some people consider a lower skill operator, but I think in the right hands, it's a very different operator than in the wrong hands, just because you have to be able to hit your shots, for one thing. If you have a shield on your face and you can't hit your shots, it doesn't really do you a lot of good. Yeah, you stay alive, but you're not really being effective other than maybe cutting off a rotation and putting pressure on. But, I mean, we'll see how it goes. They are banning Maestro again, but I got to imagine we should see some serious Echo play on Armory Lockers in theory for this, or maybe even downstairs in ventilation as well. Of course, going to start in Lockers first, although there are more and more teams willing to start ventilation first. Really depends on your preferences and your strats, but I feel like we used to talk about when there was only 2 bomb sites you had to play. We used to see teams, you know, every once in a while they'd play on their secondary first, and that was kind of a thing we talk about. But the way the site rotations work, we see very clearly most of the time, it's very rare for a team to start on their secondary site. Pretty much the site you start on is almost always now their primary.
Yeah. Actually, this is pretty interesting.
Just kind of shifted over time.
Bit of tidbit, yeah.
I mean, I love the 3 bomb site rotation thing. I think, especially combined with the 5-round rotation thing, I think has really added its own extra level of strategy and play here that I think, you know, those 2 combined had created.
And that's the thing. This is why nowadays we tend to focus so much on coaches. I mean, we mentioned them a lot in the past, and we still do. But they kind of have gone into their own level where having a coach and someone to help you out with these sort of strategies kind of gives you another way of seeing, you know, how a setup is supposed to be done.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
There might be a lot of information for you to take in, and you know, an extra pair of hands or an extra, you know, brain helps.
Hands and brain, why not?
Yeah.
Best of both worlds, the brains and the brawn. Well, we will see some more Doc play, but also, even without Young, the Monty here. Now, to me, the Monty screams Archives plant more often than not. Definitely doesn't mean it has to be that, but we hadn't seen that in a while outside of, we saw it once, somewhat recently, someone trying to go for that. It is a risky play, though, because that is fairly well known how to counter it. It was a very short-lived thing in Pro League a ways back, but it's still something to try. Yeah, very, very much back in the day when Border was still relatively fresh. It was something a lot of teams would try, is to just that Archives door that you saw Smoke walking kind of towards, not the one that into the room, but the one out to the balcony. You just pretty much push up with the Monty and try and plant right on the doorway by having someone behind you trying to stick the plant down. But smokes and C4s tend to make short work of that more often than not. But if you have good coverage on the AC window, like usually with a Blackbeard, for example, that can somewhat thwart it. There might take a little bit of damage just to get that Claymore down. Hopefully it was worth it.
Grenade's going to get bounced in here to destroy the mana batteries.
Good
and there you go. Very good. This is very efficient from Mouz. And they'll be able to thermite the wall open. This should force Vandal back. Strength just immediately pushing Mouz back.
Wow, this is, I mean, they're actually going for a Monty Lockers push. This is risky, though. It's very easy to get flanked because you have to watch a lot of angles. And he does have a bulletproof camera right in front of him as well.
Did this smoke grenade go down? I think it fell.
It certainly looked like it did, and that's not what you want. The bulletproof camera is going to make kind of that somewhat useless along with the pulse as well.
Where'd it go?
The nether region.
It was swallowed up. Okay. Vertical nitro cell downstairs. That's one way to deal with the Monty. See if he gets spots here to get some shots down, but Vandal will get one. The Monty tries to move up, but England is ready. And they'll get one more. So now they actually separate Monty from the pack, but Bombs is able to get one. England again with a shotgun, saving the day for Mouz for now the second map in a row. Try to find the Monty as, again, Demento is holding off by the window. He'll spot Hyper. Who's now down and out, but they're still vertical alive, so you gotta be careful. Demento one more as England busy here with the fight against the Monty. should be able to move up. But do they spot the Zofia? Yes, they do. Is there going to be the run out from vertical? It's basically the best case scenario here for the team. And he should be, there you go. He spots.
He's got to be careful, though, because he might really want to save his C4 to contest the Monty. And if he runs out, that's a big risk. I would say take care of the Monty first, because even if you don't get him right on, he's low on health, and there's a chance that just the splash damage could take him out. So as soon as he stops, you got to get that, and you need teamwork with Vandal to make that happen.
Zofia is going to try to move up, maybe for the plant, maybe for the kill. Vandal still gets it, and he's still alive. So that's now him down. Excretion will have to go for the plant. He's going to plant right next to the hatch here. C4 will get thrown up, and they should connect. There you go. The Monty will go down a first round in the hands of Mousesports.
I got to credit Strength, though, for at least being efficient in their push. It gave them a lot of time to work with when things started falling apart to be able to try and recollect themselves.
Yep.
Gave the Zofia player, Demento...
Oh, they instantly took down the batteries. That was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's how it should be done. I mean, if they don't have the ADSs to contest with that, it's, you know, take advantage of that, absolutely. Unfortunately, Monty tends to end up in these situations where if you can't aggress with him effectively enough with your teammates, he could just end up stalled out, just walking around looking at the enemy, not really accomplishing a whole lot. And that's obviously not what you want, and that's kind of what happened. Although a credit to Demento in taking advantage of the time to get some good kills, start to even things up a little bit, but ultimately could not win enough of them, and well, just the Pulse doing his thing downstairs, hanging out. We'll see, though, Beastly going to be on that Pulse this time. And that is something we've seen from these guys. They'll switch around who's on the Pulse depending on the bomb site. So that's not unusual at all. But usually Beastly is the one playing it down here. And I think, if I remember correctly, it was Beastly who was so hesitant to get a C4 kill once from down there that ended up costing them the round. Just because he kept checking his scanner over and over.
That was, oh my god, what a heartbreaker.
Well, hopefully you saw the heart with the scanner.
Oh my god, yeah, because it was definitely an achy breaky heart at that point.
Yeah, not so great. Well, instead of the shield this time, we're going to get the Ying, which makes sense for this bomb site. The question is, where are they going to push from? Now, they have no Thermite. They're going instead with the X-Kairos. So they could go for the bathroom, but it's a little trickier to do so with those as opposed to just Thermiting the wall. But at the same time, still entirely doable. And, well, you don't necessarily need the X-Kairos for a whole lot else. So might as well go for that push if you... have the setup for it, depending on what your read is, though. You obviously want to drone out first, though, and see, first off, how many people are playing top floor. Second off, are they in positions where you could pitch them out, or are they near hatches where they're just going to drop back into sight? And then from there, you need to decide top floor or bottom floor attack and how to execute from that. So I feel like good IGLing is an important part of attacking events, for sure.
All right, bombs droning in. Make sure there's nobody that's going to peek him from here. As maybe Strength, we're expecting some sort of vigil play from Mousesports, which has not happened yet. The castle barricade was set up. And see the Habana using the X-Kairos to open up the side of the wall here into the armory. Hyper will find the first one on a bomb. He's getting shot from the side, and Merc will come in, taking no damage, evading the headshot here from the Jaeger vertical, spraying in with the UMP. He'll do quite a bit of damage to the sledge, but Demento will find one vertical. There we go. It takes down the sledge. Pulse and Jaeger down, and it's the Ash and the sledge down for Strength as well. It's a fight from vertical here against the Zofia. Demento comes in and finds the headshot, takes him out.
Well, surprisingly enough, that ended up with Strength with one more player. Just all three people upstairs dying.
Is that a double Legion stacked on top of one? Why?
So it
no, they're not stacked. Okay.
Feels so good going in.
Just the throw kind of from the angle, whatever. It looked very odd.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Those icons can get a little crazy.
Yeah, well, there you go. They'll find the kill on.
You got to be careful. England with that shotgun.
Oh, there you go.
There
Execration. He's going to use the Ying here just like a fuse charge, as that is very much a strategy to be used. The Habana will inhale the smoke here, but she's going to, well, actually, she's going to go down. But the diffuser, yeah, job's done. Job's done.
Job's done.
Diffuser is going to get set here, but Execration is ready from above. Try to find the angle. Vandal will get one. Now, England is ready to use the shotgun. Unfortunately, it's from the opposite end. He's going to try to move up here and deal with the Ying, but somebody's going to stick that diffuser. Vandal will get it. There you go, just jumping out, taking down the Claymore and the Ying. And that's diffuser. Gets shut down. There you go, Mousesports with a second round, this time with the great retake. These rounds have been fairly close for what they are.
This is what we've seen a lot from Mouz. We saw this in the previous times they played as well. They'll lose a lot of people up to the site. But then, when it's England left, more often than not, he's managing to stick it out a lot of times with a shotgun and surviving to the end to be able to clutch these out in close rounds. And that's, I mean, that's all that matters, right? Is you win the round. Doesn't matter how many people are left alive. Doesn't matter how the round went. If you win it, but it's still been close multiple times. And I got to say, Strength's attacks have been pretty decent. They just get stalled out a lot. However, Customs coming out this time and a Blackbeard. So things getting interesting. Twitch also being brought by Merc here. Now, of course, all of that's assuming 6 picks don't happen here, but a clash as well. So this should be interesting. And of course, I figured that was going to be the 6th pick. But an Echo, surprisingly, this is the first time we've seen get brought out on this map. But that Blackbeard, as you mentioned, should be a good one here. Now, they didn't have to go to Customs. They could have gone to Bathroom Tellers. So I got to wonder, which was Strength planning for, or does it matter in terms of their lineup? Because, I mean, lineup isn't everything. You can obviously play, everyone's got a gun. You can kind of play your thing. But at the same time, a lot of your strats, a lot of times rely on which bomb site they're going to, which is why you're seeing more and more teams just end up with default lineups, except for when they know what the bomb site's going to be, and just running that anyways. Doesn't seem to be the case though for Strength, as they've definitely been changing it up. So hopefully this was the read that they had.
All right, well, it's interesting to see the Twitch being played in here. Personally, seeing as how Mouz could be playing an Echo, and because it's allowed in this matchup, not banned, gonna have to push in the Twitch pick. I would go for an IQ probably.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, sure, you can shoot the yokais with a shock drone, but if you have to find it first. A little hide and seek. We'll see. Still has one in pocket, though. He's not going with the Leon Gids spot. What a waste. We'll see, though. He's going to roam it around and look for a nice, juicy spot to put in. And, of course, you can take advantage of the visibility above some of those walls with the little arches. See a lot of teams shooting those out to give the ability to throw C4 and other utility over it. Oh,
Bandit Battery was shot down, but
nicely done.
The drone will get taken. Oh no!
The timing.
2 sets of Kairos gone.
Well,
this is why Buck would be great here.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's much more important to take out the wall from Passport anyways, a lot of times, than take out that one. But you never know. We'll see what ends up happening here, as they have yet to take CCTV control as well. And no one's died just yet, but Vandal is, well, I was going to say very low, but now he's even lower. However, trade back by Vertical.
Yeah, Demento here on the Wilkie spot, trying to rappel in and use that to his advantage. The second shock drone will get destroyed. Now, Merc has nothing to play around with. Shrines that has been fairly silent throughout the round, or throughout this matchup. We'll just play the Blackbeard this time, unable to find anything just yet. The Ash exchange for the Jaeger. What a classic bit of play. Merc will find the kill, and Hyper will go down.
See if Vertical can find a kill here, as they've pretty much lost control of CCTV and also quite a few people. I mean, the smoke's still alive, but losing the Echo, definitely a big bummer for them, because not only a great utility, but also the ACOG. Merc fighting a second one here onto the Bandit as well. There we go. Looking very good for Strength here. Of course, this is the 3rd bomb site for Mouz, as I said before. You sometimes lose those.
Yeah, Vertical, though, holding the cross angle here. And nobody will peek into him.
Oh, the hesitation.
Yeah, well, England in the meantime will get one. Goes off on the rotation, and no, there's nobody watching. Vertical gets the 2K. Shrines, the next creation down on the floor. And now it's Demento. Mr. Dimmadome himself will try to save the round, but no, it's Vertical. We'll go in for the clutch to 3K here for the castle.
So far, despite some of these rounds being close and a lot of people being lost early for Mouz, they seem to be able to clutch it out every time. It's just,
yeah.
I mean, their strength is just taking out the initial players. They've been doing it consistently round after round. It's just sticking the landing is not happening.
Yeah. Taking
down those last few players, people like Vertical in England, has just been such a struggle.
Well, Bombs is usually getting those early picks, or Merc, but even Mr. Doug Dimmadome Demento 199, who's definitely doing quite a bit of work on the squad, it's just unfortunate that there's no follow-up from Strength after it, because it's getting a good start is one thing, but when you lose situations where it's like, 3v2, 4v2, you have advantages, and then suddenly nobody's on flank watch, and you hear the rotation, but you're too busy to,
I think
two people watching the same angle.
I think their problem is drones. So it's not just drones isn't droning actively, it's drones isn't leaving drones in positions where they're going to be able to do that flank watch, because they're still going to lose people, right? And what are dead people good for? Watching drones, because guess what? If you don't have any drones, there's no default cams for you to watch. The dead people are doing nothing, because all they can do is watch your perspective and tell you what you already hear or already see. So having those drones in good places, good spots being hidden, rather than driving them in positions where they're being shot by the defenders, would absolutely help in a lot of these critical moments towards the end when they're not having the intel on these last couple players. So I think, a pro team like Mouz has spent a lot of time figuring out their drone placements, being set up in positions where they can have that late game, late round extra bit of information. Whereas Strength may not have that level of experience and strategy in terms of those placements and focus more on active droning. And active droning is not a bad thing, but you talk about flank watch, what better flank watch than a dead guy watching your drone, so you don't have to actively stare at it with your gun pointed at the wall. So I would say that's probably their biggest weakness, right? That they in the late rounds. So if they could adjust that, their early rounds are very good.
Well, so far it's been a bit of a silent early round, at least in the first few seconds of it. Hyper is holding up here as he gets droned inside of the server area in the workshop. Vertical up close, and he scans around. He knows that the buck has been accounted for, and the Zofia. And who did they see rotate away? I believe it was the Ash and Bombs. Wow. He'll find the angle on vertical and take him out. That's a big loss here.
Yeah, because he's been good late game a lot of the time, especially on that. But at least traded back on the Merc from Hyper.
Yeah, he's still alive here. Of course, with Zofia, big loss equal to the Pulse in this situation. Bombs will go down, so that's the bug. More drones falling to Hyper. That is a lot of work being done from Hyper. Unfortunately for him, his rotation is going to be shut down as the angle is being held here by the Ash of Demento.
Well, he's at least doing a good job on that. Unfortunately, it looks like they see the confusion and doubling up on the cameras even. Although, you want to get those out of your view as an IQ player.
I think this is the strategy pioneered by Skies to use the IQ to take down default cams.
You know what? Someone's got to do it.
Yep, the shotgun from England might very much do it here, as he's been doing quite a bit of work, especially in the cubby hole.
Well, they at least got the wall open. It's not a bad start. They've got to get set up for this plant, and they don't have smoke or anything else to help cover it. So you got to depend on frags, and this is again where the drones are going to help if they have any left and haven't gotten them all killed yet.
Well, this is the problem. Because there's the manpower advantage from Mousesports, they can still use those blown up floorboards to their advantage. And that's why they are so huge. So, Hyper can still walk in, still has a nitro cell. And unfortunately, if Strength want to fight him, they're going to have to lose out on more manpower. That's one away. Demento removed. Shrines is still in. C4 does not connect, unfortunately. Will force Hyper back up to the site with his teammates to support them. Shrines comes in, gets one. Beastly down on the floor. 2v2 with equal amounts of health as Hyper will go for the quick peek, but it's already the IQ to move in by the site. Diffuser should get set here as we know the position of the players, but Hyper will get one. And there you go, Hyper with the second. What an amazing amount of work here. At least a 3K from Hyper in the round, maybe even 4.
That was absolutely his round.
Yeah, oh yes.
I mean, killed pretty much everyone downstairs, then just rotated up to finish the job.
Hey, there's more here, Hyper. Okay.
All right, I'll see you in a sec.
All you got to do is ask, my man.
Right on up. Well, back to Vents for the second time as they're just doing the full rotation here with the defensive wins, 4 in a row so far. Again, great starts from Strength. Unfortunately, slow and awkward and not such working strats. For the finish, they seem to just, lose out on their ability to push. I mean, at least they're trying, though. They're trying to take the gunfights smartly, but again, lack of intel is costing them. Maybe the Dokkaebi will help with that because, well, maybe they can't drone, but they can certainly phone call, and that will give them some advantage. So I think
the Maverick 6th pick.
Getting tricky. I mean, we'll see how that's used. I mean, that makes more sense on Armory Lockers than it does down events. But the one thing I like about it, is against the castle. And that's one thing you don't see often is a lot of people forget the fact that he could burn holes in castles. And when you have a castle barricade up, you think of it in a very, as the developers would say, binary way, and don't realize it can be a state between open and closed, which is a lot of people actually can get kills from that. If you have the intel that someone might be on the other side of a castle barricade, it is very quiet to just pop a little hole in it, take some shots through, and there's definitely some great use of that. I've seen a few teams use with that Maverick, so we'll see how Shrines does it.
Yeah, I mean, you would love to have a Thermite here, but obviously he's banned. So, you know, entryway into the workshop is going to be complicated. But we mentioned this before, top floor control.
10 seconds to go.
How is it going to happen from Strength? They're bringing the buck. They have a big advantage to play around with here, so.
Yeah. Well, they have like two soft destructors and 2 hard breachers. Well, I guess, I mean...
3 and 2,
well,
I guess?
I was going to say 3, but then I'm thinking for the castle barricades, and that's where Buck like has to use a grenade. But, I mean, yeah, he's still a soft destructor. So, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways to play this for them. They have a lot of utility. We'll see, though, if they can take that top floor control, which is, of course, the big question, right? We were talking about this last time. They took the top floor very swiftly, ended up in the man advantage on that, and then just couldn't take the bottom. Some of that, I mean, they had enough time left to do it, too. It's just good play downstairs from England, especially. Just you couldn't really find him, but it was also just timing in terms of the way they were trying to pressure him downwards. They couldn't seem to land the shots.
A bit of a few bans happening here and there, which is always good, right?
Yeah. Always good. Got to keep clean in here. So we are seeing the approach here from Shrines is going to be towards the bathroom to open up a hole potentially here. Setting up a Claymore first, though, just in case he starts to get pushed on the rotate up. But he actually might not pressure it first.
And honestly, I completely agree. There's no reason for you to pressure it first because you don't really know what's in there.
Yeah.
There's still the yokai drone's going to get set up here, so will they actually use it? No, it just falls back.
It's a roamer at that point. That's what he was looking, was to just see who was going to push that. And that's good, because then you know how much time you have to dedicate to watching that angle, especially since there was 2 holes open into the bathroom. So Hyper, though, on this long, deep flank over on the east stairwell could be a problem for them here if they try and go around to take out Vertical but aren't paying attention to their flank in there.
There you go. Bomb's going to start opening up the bottom floor here. Vertical taking a lot of damage on the castle. He's still in. Can he find the back angle? No, it's Bombs. We'll get him, as most of the wall had already been cleared out. Of course, the Hawana holes had been opened up. Beastly holding on from below. Hyper as well here by the tellers, waiting around for his opponents to walk into the site. They're taking their sweet time here, String.
Maverick definitely in a good position. He just hasn't been able to catch anyone. He's got to make sure they don't spot the hole before he can use it, but I think he's just going to decide to rotate, see if he can do something about Hyper. But Hyper is Hyper. You don't want to contest that without the extra information. Oh, the timing.
There you go. That's the thing with the Maverick holes, man. It's very complicated. Oh, there you go. Vendel's going to get spotted, but he moves away the last second, and he's like, oh, where am I getting shot from? He probably didn't even hear. That's your teammate, Hyper. What are you doing? England will go down, unfortunately. Diffuser's down. This is terrible.
Hyper's getting the blame for this round.
Oh, boy. He's going to try to spray in. At least it'll turn into a 4-1 here. Possibly Demento will get one on Beastly. The run out now from Vandal as he rotates in with Hyper. Trying to play against Demento. At least he'll take down one. Shrines holding the cross angle here. He'll get one. No, that's the help of Bombs. The last in is Vandal. They team up on him. He gets one, but Shrines is ready. The opposite angle. We'll take him out, and at least 4-1.
Yeah.
Advantage on the defense of all places for Mousesports.
Well, that was starting to look like a repeat of the last 4 rounds where they started to get some early advantage and then can't turn into anything. And unfortunately, Maverick's hole didn't turn into a kill in the Echo, but the team kill from Hyper really started the ball rolling the opposite way, but also they were a little too distracted by the other side, didn't expect the plant to come down in B, and that seemed to work out. But that was only 1 attack round 1, so they're going to have a similar performance here on defense to be able to stick this out. It is not match and map point yet, but it is 1 point away from being there. And of course, once it's there, you have to get to overtime to even be able to have a chance at winning it. And then with this being the second map, definitely need it to even stay in it.
Yeah.
So Smoke going to sneak over to, or I'm sorry, Execration going to sneak over to the Smoke for ventilation here. They're going to start in vents. They were originally going to go lockers, but changed their mind. We were talking earlier about some teams wanting to go vents first, and that is definitely case for some in this team here specifically. That one might have been a call though, and I would say maybe lockers actually is their primary, contrary to what I was talking about, not happening secondary often. But
I was like, hey, can we get a list of all the primary bomb sites for every single team?
I do make those.
Oh God, poor Amanda.
It's my job.
All right, well, with that aside, Mousesports this time will have to attack, and they're going to bring the Capitao. So it seems like they were probably expecting a push up into the armory first.
I mean, it even if you look at it, it almost looks like it is the armory just because the way the outlines go through, vertically.
They're
it gets
basically on top of one.
It's throwing me off occasionally, especially when you see it like it was switched last.
It happens to the best of people, the best of analysts.
Well, it's good to know that I'm the best of analysts.
Well, one of the best. An analyst, I guess.
Yeah. Singular in its nature. We'll see if the castle barricades will do their job adequately to be able to stop this. At least there's not a Maverick this time to poke little holes in them. They will have the Capitao, though, for the smokes here. Now, I got to imagine they were probably planning for a lockers push first. But it's not like they're lacking in utility to be able to take downstairs as well. So it shouldn't be a big deal. It looks like they're going for the usual offices push that we see from a lot of teams in terms of wanting to take top floor control. Rather than worrying about dealing with that lockers wall, you just push from this side. Because you're only going to get one person there at most contesting it, and you can usually get some utility over top of that where he's looking right now. He's expecting someone to peek him from up there, though. So, good mindset there. And, of course, that wall not being reinforced. Easy open.
Yep, I mean, you won't really be setting up a lot of utility on that end, especially if you're looking for more of a confined setup here. Coup mines are going to get spotted, and that's keen eye from Hyper. Oh, they'll walk into one another, and Merc will go down. That's a big kill here on the Legion, who no longer will be able to use his goo mines later on in the round. Now Vertical still joining in. He does have the cassette tape here, so he can scan in and see if there's any utility that's been set up. And of course, Vandal in the meantime is taking a lot of damage. They can reset him. There is a lot of time, but right now he is going to stick up to the drones.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the time to reset him. And as someone that you want as the spearhead there, you want to give him all the benefit in terms of being able to move in like that. So hopefully it's just a case of them getting some setup first before they go for that reset.
Yeah, Ash definitely inspired by Team Rogue Spear.
The Rainbow Rogue Spear.
Oh, yes. So Habana downstairs taking down those default cams. And right now, just making sure you're clearing things up. There's a minute left. There's a lot of time for a potential play here from Mousesports, as they haven't reset the Ash, but Vertical dives right into the bathroom, and it's completely cleared. Well, make sure you don't stack for the team kill, though.
Yeah, right. It is Hyper.
So he can walk into the site, and Excaris will be opened up, and Execration walking into the sites here of Hyper. He'll get taken out. England walking into the site now, can go for the diffuser plant, and a very smart decision here. We'll go for it instantly, as the position is very favorable to a post-plant defense. Hyper will go in, grab the kill, and make sure that there's no TK at the end of it. Vertical drops the bomb as bomb drops from the hatch. And that's Mousesports now on map and match point, and whoop, hello.
Well, not looking good for Strength. Surprisingly doing better on Mouse's map than their own, unfortunately, but is definitely looking good for Mouse to close this out and finally make the 4th time count. We'll see if they can pull it off, though. It is Armory Lockers time. This is definitely a, in theory, better bomb site. Vents, unfortunately, just were not prepared for that bathroom push, which is, I mean, odd considering that's usually where the push comes from.
Well, see, this is actually pretty interesting, as it's a very different way of seeing things. After how Map 1 went, it was very close to 6-4. It almost turned into a tie. In here, it's kind of just Mousesports, taking the ball, running with it, and basically throwing it up against Strength's face as, they're playing dodgeball and then picking the ball back up and smashing it again into them.
That doesn't feel good.
It does not feel good at all. And, there's been some close rounds where Strength were able to maybe scratch the tip of the ball, the side of it, and unfortunately kicked right into their face by Mousesports.
What a developed metaphor.
Yes, indeed. I do spend most of my day thinking about these. They say people in the industry are fairly creative.
Well, I guess
they haven't met me yet.
That's what a meta's for.
Alrighty then, we're here. As long as everybody stays off of the helicopter, we'll all be fine. At least that's what I'm told by Twitch chat. Bombs on the opposite end here of the Jaeger, and we'll see the setup from the Valkyrie.
He'll figure it out. Just gotta line that up. You have to spend so much time practicing your throws as a Valkyrie.
Oh,
just to have those lined up so you don't spend a lot of time on it, because the ones outside, I mean, because you can't stand there in front of the window figuring it out forever once the round starts.
Okay. Now England moving in, just opening up the sidewall. I wonder if they reinforced here strength. They reinforced the wall into the hallway from the cafeteria room. There's a lot that can be done in that very specific position. It shuts down rotations, and wow, Vandal catching bombs here on the rotation. I assume that bombs was moving back into CCTV from the armory, and this just allows Vertical to walk right in, and he should be able to, there you go, take down the default cams. Now just walk in. I believe this is a yokai.
Yep. I mean, if it's up on the roof like that, it's very likely is. So good spot from him on that. We'll see if they can turn that into actually killing it. Depends on the positioning. Sometimes the way they are on lips of roof, you cannot get them easily. Oh. Nice C4 attempt, but ultimately failed. Yeah,
and damage done to England, but I believe that's just off of pure firepower and not really the explosive radius of the C4. X-Kairos, all 3 sets will get used here. This will force players back for just a second. Oh, all 3 players will get spotted, and that should very much force them back. In the meantime, more drones are being rallied back onto the site. His Vertical's IQ drone is still in. Vandal moving in from below as he still has a bit of utility to use. England, though, will go down, but the Habana has already done the work. Vandal is watching in from below, and can he check the angle against the Valkyrie?
Oh.
No, it's Merc ready for him. He'll take him out. The Cap Tower already falling off with a 4v3 of the minute 10 on the clock. Possible here for Mouz, but with the Echo, it's kind of a force multiplier for strength.
At least they still have the ability to spot it in case it's moved. But again, if it depends on whether or not it's accessible from the outside to take it out. If not, it can be hard.
Oh!
Hyper not actually winning this fight yet.
He's unsure of the positioning here, and the Valkyrie will try to rotate away, and a lot of damage done to Beastly, but he at least will tie it up 3-3 here between the 2 teams. Now, will they walk in? No, Demento's ready, and he finds 1 kill. Going in for the second peek, but he has the... Oh, no. That's the wrong lifeline. Yeah, that's more time.
And missed. Well, you still have to deal with that shield. I'll tell you what.
There you go. Oh, my God. 4 lifelines later. The shield is down. And they're still Doug Dimmadome in the back, trying to dome his opponents.
Too. This is getting desperate. At least they still have the Cap Tower, but well,
no, they'll try to burn one out. The Doc is still in, and Hyper will have to walk in the flames. Going for the Echo, he'll take him out. There's still the shotgun of Execration alive. 3 seconds left in as Hyper will fall back, and no, he's unsure of the positioning. And Strength will get the 7th round here on the board. The drones were so good earlier on for Mouz, but they kind of just fall one by one.
Some good plays from Demento with the deployable shield, though. He managed to get a couple kills from it, and you saw the struggle they had dealing with it.
12 seconds to take down a, shield.
Not the best.
Sophia lifelines.
Yeah, and on an operator that Hyper's good at, too. It's just, well. Back down to Vents, though.
It's the nerves.
Yes.
We're so close, guys.
Yeah, they're 1 round away from qualifying to US Nationals after 4 times of trying.
Can you imagine if they choke this now and then lose Map 3?
No. I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
They would just disband at that point. Well, we'll see how Vents goes, though. This is one that they did not win last time, so it is favorable to Mouz closing this out. But same time, gives a chance for Strength to make the adjustments that might be necessary based off what they saw last time to be better prepared for this. Now, they are going to have bombs, for example, on Vigil, so that'll be a little bit different. He'll be able to play a little more flexible role. We'll see if that works out in terms of flanks. Be able to do some work, but it's going to be tricky. So we can pull it off. So they set up...
this is the thing. Completely reinforced from the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's the big difference.
Shut it out.
I mean, they kind of understood, hey, we're being caught off because instantly Mouz vault in and play the bathroom.
Yep.
Well, now they're going to need to account for that as there's no longer a freebie, basically, given by Strength.
Well, it just means Mouz can use the bathroom undisturbed. so that they are...
They only have one hard breach here, remember. There's no thermite.
Yeah. And that's the thing, though, is there's also a bandit. So if the bandit is ready to bandit trick that could actually be a tough situation to be in, because you could burn up a couple of those X-Kairos where they think, oh, we'll shoot 2 or 3 of them. You saw, for example, when England shot all 3. If they did a similar situation and got bandit tricked, all of a sudden they're forced to attack much differently than they wanted to, assuming that was even the push they wanted to go for. If they do the droning and see that the case is that is all reinforced up, they might just decide to go for a different attack. But that is a good start.
Just a few love taps here from Hyper, take down Merc, and you know, a player that has been a big part of the fragging potential for Strength, instantly domed and taken out. Not a great spot to be in if you're Strength.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, when you're on map point too, you definitely don't want to be down someone early in the round, especially someone like Merc, who's been a good player. Although Demento's been doing pretty good on this map, so if we can keep up his work, that might help stay in this. But Execration, definitely not going to be bandit tricking anything as he's playing upstairs. So they are taking control of this pretty fast. Execration going to have to be smart about how he plays this, because they're going to pinch him very soon here.
Oh, no. Oh, vertical, he'll catch Execration off on the rotation.
Oh, no.
And that is complete devastation right there, but Shrines is ready. And it'll shut down the rotation. Vandal is down.
At least 1 kill there, but just one
the
kill.
Frustration.
The metal bars, they just get to you, man. Well, unfortunately, the more times you shoot them, it doesn't make them any softer.
Oh, the spray through the wall. Vertical, unable to get the shot there. But yeah, that got a bit too close for comfort. Hyper finds an angle on the Ella there as tries to rotate back.
Strength is burning a lot of time, but he might consider going back to site.
Yeah, this might just be the ultimate round here for Mousesports. As there's 2 players left alive with C4 left in hand. And I wonder, oh, there you go. There's the impact grenades are already used. No more Nitro Cell available for the Valkyrie. There's not much except for pure fragging firepower from Strength. Now, Mouse were able to win a similar position beforehand, and a couple times actually, but can Strength do this themselves? Demento's going to get spotted here. So you'll see bombs falling back, and he'll Q&E against England, but England is ready for it. He'll take down Bomb. And Demento is the last man alive here on the Valkyrie. Any utility can be thrown in. Anything would be fantastic. Unfortunately, there's nothing for Valkyrie. Demento will have to walk in. He'll find it. No, he cannot. And it's Hyper to get it done. Ladies and gentlemen, after so many tries every single play week. And there you go. That is Mousesports qualifying.
Well, took them long enough, but job done. And I got to imagine... I'm impressed by their persistence, though, in terms of trying to get here, because it definitely took a lot of work. 4 separate... well, actually, let's be fair. It took them multiple weeks each time to get to that point as well. So it's just... It was a lot of work to get to this point, because they had to play 2 weeks for each time they tried before. So that's a total of 6 weeks just leading up to this. 7 weeks of them playing in these matches to try and get to this point. Finally doing it.
It's a lot of work to get to this, but you know what? It's all for a good cause. It's because now you get to play in Vegas.
Oh, totally worth it.
The very first US Nationals, it's kind of, it came down to the very final game of the online season to see, hey, do we qualify or do we not?
Yeah, last chance, and they got it, so congrats to them.
Yeah, I mean, Border was fairly convincing. Our first map when they played in Oregon was kind of hit and miss, and you know, Oregon is like that in general. It's a map where younger, less experienced teams have the chance to upset against teams with more pro play experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small map that's got a lot of tight angles and stuff like that. If you know them very well, as most teams do, it's definitely doable, and a lot of it comes down to winning gunfights or just smart intelligence. And I still think if Strength can improve their drone game and their positioning in late game or late round game, I think they could be a strong team.
Yes. So, you know, I'm definitely excited to see Strength maybe potentially coming back in the future, as they got close against Obey, much closer than this. And again, I'll remind you, if you really want to watch a bit of a barn burner, then make sure you watch Strength versus Obey, as Strength 3-2 definitely try to put up a fight as best as possible against Mouz, but every single time the problem was we can't finish the round.
Yeah.
And I think against Obey, a team that is known for kind of being in a similar state, where, yeah, we'll get a lot of things done, but then we can't really just break it up at the end. Complicated position. You know what? We'll see if Strength can save it here later on, maybe. In the future.
I hope we see him in Vegas anyways. I hope they decide to go.
Actually, yes.
So.
And there you go. I hope we get to see everybody there because, hey, if you haven't attended a Siege event just yet, trust me, you are missing out. And for the first time, you know, we got an event that is fairly close on the West Coast. So, you know, Nevada as close as it's going to get for now. Maybe an event in California in the future, right?
Yeah.
But there you go. Here's our MVPs. Emzo's gone for Merc. I've gone the easy one, and
the easy one, yeah.
I guess Vertical will be my pick.
I mean, I got to say a lot of credit to Demento as well on Border. I think he had an excellent map there, but I think more consistent was Merc across the maps. He was similar to play to what we saw from Tuffy Goat, where we saw them. He was, you know, the sledge player as well. He was somewhat consistent. He was not always top fragger, but he was just a consistent player. He did get shut down, to be fair, a lot more often on Border, and that was a bit of a struggle for him, just getting caught off. Still a good player, though, and I think he was one of the players that definitely had a lot of potential.
Yeah, and there's all the potential of either entire team being, you know, brought in by an organization to either play in Challenger League or, you know, in US Nationals or whatever, or individual players that might be, you know, a diamond in the rough where there's experience to be had for those players.
Well, that's where Hyper came from, right? He came from getting picked up from Disrupt, exactly, in a situation where he showed off that in a diamond or rough, they weren't necessarily in a position to be playing anything else yet.
And he was definitely a huge pick for Mousesports. And
as you saw there, outside of killing his teammate. Otherwise, good game for him.
You can see that it happens to even the best players in the world. Don't be too afraid.
Just ask EG and their grenades.
He's firing on all cylinders tonight, that's for sure.
All right. Well, we will be, I think, talking to someone from Mouz here in just a second, so we can ask them what it feels like to finally
qualify.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. We are ready. So let's get no, not yet. Okay.
So close.
So we're pretty close. We're just on the line.
Yeah. Well, I do hope that that Mouz will have a good performance because. I mean, in Vegas, because we've seen them struggle so much for this that I'm a little wary of their Vegas performance. So.
Yeah, we'll see how the brackets shape up as we get closer and closer to the US Nationals finals. But hey, let's all huddle together near a box as it's time to this conjure one for England. Evening, England. How are you?
Oh, the tradition was so smooth. I didn't know you were talking to me. Yeah, what's up? How you guys doing?
Well, we're pretty good. It was a pretty exciting matchup. The first map was a bit too close, but again, congratulations. It took you guys until the very final match in the fourth time to try and qualify to the US Nationals. Usually this is a very cheesy question, but really, how do you feel at this point? It's been a bit of a struggle.
I mean, yeah, I think this is only my second attempt on the team, but last week was a different experience for me. Yeah. That's for sure. And I don't know. I think we beat ourselves. I mean, obviously, but I think we also beat ourselves in the prep. We were only scrimming pro league teams if they were out of the region, if they were just in NA because they're so deep in the season. Wasn't ready for the just peak bodies after bodies in one area of the map. So I developed a new mantra, a new code. And we've been doing it ever since against any team that's on Pro League, and it's working pretty well. So,
can you give us more insight into your mantra?
Wolfpack stays a 4-man group because no one's killing Vert and Hyper. So as long as we're all together, I'm just gonna plant the bomb for free.
Well, it's just there was a certain point, at least on Oregon, where the only people that were able to kill them are one another. I believe that was Hyper with the team kill. But still, it happens. We're saying, hey, if it happens with the best players in the world, so, don't feel too bad when it happens to you. Now, there was a certain round in Oregon, I believe it was round 6. There was try to play the Vigil on the defense downstairs in Laundry, but he was being played upstairs in the kids' dorm. It's a standard thing to do as well if you want to roam, but the first round when it was trialed, it didn't really work out too well. What was happening there where the Vigil just got caught off guard and just so much time was wasted where it couldn't rotate away?
We wanted to bring a bulletproof because the mirror was banned, so it kind of he didn't have the impacts he needed the first round or the rotate, so it's like he couldn't help Hyper on White as well as he should have been able to. So we just didn't get any trades and just went 1-for-1 and just died. It wasn't like a huge deal. We knew like it was just such an easy fix. We just had to make one hole, and the next round we did it. It worked pretty well. So.
Exactly. I mean, there was the tower defense on Oregon, especially as well. You know, I want to say the way that the Jaeger was playing on it, the positioning of the dock sometimes in the opposite end to try and contest the tower. It's a very good clear from Strength. But you know, with you guys having played them today and as a bit of a rookie team, so anything that you highlight from Strength's play that might potentially be something that other teams should fear maybe in the future for USN or other tournaments?
I mean, they're not afraid to peek you. So I think that goes for most teams like are at a pro league level, but they're more patient on offense than you'd expect. Like most of the time, no one's just flying in without some kind of initiation. So it's like they're not the typical giving you freebies team that you expect to see like out of like just a man-made squad or just like a lower tier team. Like they actually their pushes were very like coordinated in a sense, and the pressure was there, and someone was obviously counting down the pushes and everything. So it's as long as you have it on offense, because the game's so defensive sided, it's so easy to get rounds on defense. So as long as you have it on offense, you're looking pretty good to actually take a lot of rounds off teams. I
mean, yeah, you were sitting in your box with the smoke there, and the shotgun was doing a lot of work. That's for sure. So
yeah, if smoke didn't have a shotgun, I would just retire right now.
Well, hey, please, nobody remove the shotgun. I beg of you. Anyways, congratulations again, England. Anything you'd like to say to the Mouse fans here before you head out to the US Nationals in just a month's time? Well, a month and a half's time.
It was a rough week on social media and in-game, out-of-game. Thanks for everyone who supported us. Thanks to everyone who didn't judge too quick. Shout out to Chief, Hyper, my boy Suzaku.
Oh, God.
And shout out to Tuggy. I told him to join that team, and I guess I'll be talking about that in the Discord. He already popped off, so.
All right. Well, Suzaku, shout out again. What a night for Mr. Suzaku. Anyways, thank you very much, England. Congratulations again, and we'll see you at the U.S. Nationals in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Thank you. See you guys soon.
Well, I'm definitely feeling that Wolfpack mantra. Let's get the guys who are just not going to die, and let's all just stand near them. Seems like a good philosophy, and it did take them to win today.
It did work out, and you know what? On Border, it was very effective, to say the least. So there you go. We'll go through the results of the day and then recap the entirety of the season. As, of course, EG were able to take the victory here 2-0 against Digital Dynasty. Of course, game number 2, of course, with a 2-0 victory for Mousesports against their opponents here of Strength version 2.0. As you heard England mention, it was a pretty tight one. Strength kind of have what it takes for potential future plays. So, you know what? I'm pretty excited for it as well. I hope you guys are. And, even if the team was not able, the two teams here were not able to qualify, and more of them during the 3 stages before the wild card, we'll at least hope that we see the players at the U.S. National Finals.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm excited to see how things go. But this is how things worked out. Obviously, we are at the end here prior to the actual Vegas finals. So you can see the stage 1, 2, 3 in the wild card that you just watched. You should recognize a lot of these faces, as we mentioned earlier. If you don't recognize the icons, starting from the left, we've got Noble, Space Station Gaming, Cloud9, Rogue, Obey, Vicious, Evil Geniuses, and now Mousesports, who have managed to make their way in. So
lock it in. Lock in the dates, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
December 15th and 16th on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be pretty sweet. Yeah. I really hope that as many people as possible will attend to this event, as, of course, tickets are available. Check them out on the link below. Once you buy your ticket, you also have discounts on hotel rooms as well, and goodie bags, and more stuff for you to find out, and more people and celebrities attending the event. So you know what? If there's an event that you would like to attend and you're on the West Coast and you can't, you couldn't attend Atlantic City, you couldn't attend DreamHack Austin, or the Invitational, well, you got it here. Yeah. This is still the best teams of North America, pretty much, that are fighting in the US Nationals.
Don't sleep on it.
You can definitely try your best for
well,
this one.
Now that, of course, we're done, assuming you're watching this in a browser, go ahead and open up a new tab or new window. Go to that URL. Start buying them now if you don't already have them, so that way you don't forget.
Yeah, trust me, it's going to be a barn burner, as they say. A lot of content for Poach.
Yeah.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us over the past 10 weeks here of the qualifiers for the US Nationals. We've seen ups and downs, big trials, and then absolute bashes every now and then, and it was pretty exciting being part of all of this.
Absolutely. I'm very excited for the future of USN, especially the finals.
All right, well, thank you very much for watching. From myself, Emzo, and of course, Intero and Kix, who have gone with us as well during the entirety of the US Nationals leading up to this, our production team, everybody at Ubisoft and ESL Poland and Turtle America. Thank you very much for watching. Good night. We love you. Bye-bye.